This right here is the Vantrue E1 Pro, a tiny 4K dash cam with a Sony STARVIS 2 sensor in it. It's only, wait for it, $150. Last year, Morgan got in a car accident. Somebody sideswiped her, so I was like, immediately, I need to learn more about dash cams. Her car needs one, my car needs one. So I went for this thing, the Vantrue Nexus 4 Pro, the N4 Pro. And it's amazing. I made a whole video on this thing. I love this dash cam, especially in my van where my windshield is nice and big. But in Morgan's car, windshield's pretty small. And I heard a lot of you say the same thing, that you're looking for something smaller, something cheaper, and something super easy to install. And I think that's what I found with the Vantrue E1 Pro. This thing, look how small this dash cam is. That's a 4K dash cam right there with a Sony STARVIS 2 sensor. 158-degree field of view, 1.54-inch screen on the back there, HDR recording, Wi-Fi app control, the whole deal. Let's get this thing installed. If you're out there realizing you need a dash cam, but you want something small and affordable, is this the right choice to go for? If it looks anything like my N4 Pro, it's probably gonna be. Let's get this thing installed. I need the electrostatic stickers. For those of you that are looking for a tiny dash cam that is 4K, shoots 30 frames a second, and doesn't break the bank budget-wise, the E1 Pro is probably the right camera to go for. So far in my testing, I've tested it during the day, I've tested it at night. It has a feature, it has one feature that I think is like the killer feature of this thing, and it's called plate picks. And essentially how plate picks works is there's two modes that you can shoot in. From the app, you Wi-Fi into the camera, and then you can switch between standard and plate picks. Now, standard mode on this dash cam is going to try to, it gives it like more exposure, like it's a little brighter in the scene, there's a little bit more contrast. But when you go into plate picks, the image, like, it almost has this like HDR vibe, like it ducks the highlights, it boosts the shadows, and all of a sudden you can see license plates like super, super clear. And I don't think I entirely understand how it's doing it or how it's processing the image, but I think that's essentially what it's doing. It's taking the image and it's processing it in a way that optimizes for viewing license plates. And whether I was driving day or night, it did a really good job of doing that. The CPL filter is super clutch on there. It comes with a CPL filter. If you have anything on your dashboard that's not like perfectly black, it will reflect in the windshield. On mine, like I have a black dashboard and then these two gray stripes in the Sprinter van, and that's just like these crazy reflections in the window. But I put the CPL filter on, it's a circular polarizer filter, and then you turn it while watching your live feed until those completely go away. In it, I was kind of like wiggling my hand so you guys could see it a little better, and then as I turned the polarizer, that reflection of my dashboard completely went away. And you just have to do that one time, like once you get in the right position. No matter how you turn the car, it'll stay like that. So we have a 1.54-inch screen on the back. It's not touchscreen, so you use the buttons on the bottom, and compared to my N4 Pro, this only has a down button, so you always like cycle to the bottom of a menu and then cycle back to the top because there's no up button to go back up. So like if you're setting the date and you're like 1 through 12 and you're on 6, you need to go to 3, you got to go down to come back around and then down to 3. That is interesting. Again, it's a tiny little camera. You can have up to a 1 terabyte SD card in there, which is absurd. And then same, just like the N4 Pro, I have a button on the side to be able to lock clips into place. So if something happens, you want to lock that clip in place, you can lock it. Remember that for later as the SD card rolls over eventually. Again, if you have a 512, it's going to take a very long time for that to roll over, but when it gets back to the beginning and it starts overwriting old files, anything that you've protected will not be deleted. Then as far as install goes, also incredibly simple, just an electrostatic sticker that sticks to your windshield. The mount bit sticks to that, and then this piece has like a little magnetic bit, and then the communication tabs right there, it just locks in place. You plug in the one cable to the USB-C port on the side, and you run that to your cigarette lighter. That's it. Then to do that, screen comes on, you walk through a quick setup, English, the time, the date, your time zone. You can put your license plate numbers in there. You gotta do all that so that the on-screen information is accurate. You want the date and the time and your GPS location all to be tracked on screen. That is actually saved into the file along with your speed, things like that, so that you know, you get pulled over by a police officer and he was like, you were going 85, and you were like, my dash cam says I was going 80. Still breaking the speed limit, but not so bad. If you do want the parking modes on there, you can do 24/7 parking detection, just like the N4 Pro can. To do that though, you can't go into your cigarette lighter, or I don't think you can. At least on my van, you cannot. I need to go into either my OBD port or into my fuse box, like hardwired in. Vantrue sells hardwire kits on their website to go with these. And then once you do that, then you get all the parking features. How I have my N4 Pro set up, and how I would recommend you set this up also, is so that the parking detection is set to low. Now mine is set to where you actually have to bump my car. Like the G sensor is on there, so if you don't bump my Mercedes, you just kind of walk around the outside of it, it will not trigger and it will not record you. But as soon as someone touches my car, then the cameras all turn on and now they're recording. But a big note is that out of the box, you cannot do that. So with just the cigarette lighter port, it doesn't do that. Or at least, again, it doesn't on mine. I also don't think that my cigarette lighter port can power things when the car is off, but in my mind, there's some cars that can do that. Am I crazy? If you have a car where you have something plugged into your USB-C or like your cigarette lighter and your car is off, does your car still power that thing? Yeah, I hope that helps you guys out. If you did watch my other video and you were like, hey, I want a dash cam, I just don't want to spend $380. I'd like something smaller and cheaper. The E1 Pro, also from Vantrue, really, really good to go with. Again, it has that Sony STARVIS 2 sensor, plate picks, 4K, 30 frames a second. Like those are all the kind of things in my mind that I'm like, oh, that's what dash cams need to have to be a good dash cam. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you were one of the people that asked for this video, I think I found it for you. You're welcome. I'll see ya. This right here is, oh jeez, crap.